Hello, it's Steve Jamieson here, Managing Broker of RE/MAX Crest Realty Westside with your frequently asked questions. This question comes from one of our associates at RE/MAX Masters on the North Shore, and their question is, the contract stipulates that the deposit is due upon subject removal, and my client has provided me with the deposit check, but I'm very busy and I don't live near the office. Can I drop off the check in a few days? Unequivocally, no. That is definitely against the Real Estate Services Act. You would be risking your brokerage getting in trouble. You would definitely be risking yourself getting in trouble and possibly suspended. And if you want to look it up and see where it's covered in the Act, it's Section 27-1, but it states that deposits have to be promptly paid into your brokerage, and promptly for them means immediately. It has gone to council hearings, and that's how they've defined it. It means immediately. Now, if you get a check at 10 o'clock at night from your client, do you have to drive to the office and put the check in? Technically, yes. Your office may have different thoughts on that, but I would say at a minimum you would need to be getting it there the next morning first thing. Using the excuse that you're busy or using the excuse that you don't have time or that you don't live near the office is not something that the council will accept. We have seen agents in our market area be suspended for this because they were walking around with checks for a few days, and of course what they did is they made a photocopy of the check, gave it to our agent telling us that yes, we have the deposit check. In the meanwhile, we actually don't have the deposit check. It was sitting in their purse or their car for 3, 4, 5 days. So what that does, of course, is it takes away the rights of the seller to make a claim on that deposit if for some reason the buyer defaults. So be very careful with the deposits. The council takes it extremely seriously, as they should. And on a side note, also make sure that you're getting your accepted offers into your office within a day or so of acceptance. Don't wait until subject removal. That's actually a council rule as well. And I know each office is less strict or more strict on this, but the council requirements and the council's expectations is when you have an accepted offer, you're submitting it to your conveyancing department. And that way, if a deposit check is late, they can inform your manager. Now, another reason why, of course, you don't want to have a late deposit check is because once we're informed as managers that a check is late from our conveyancing department, we must inform all parties. So we're immediately going to be calling the listing brokerage, the managing broker for the listing, or the other end if we're on the other side, and we're going to be letting them know that the deposit is late. And hopefully you realize that if a deposit is late, the contract is voidable at the seller's option. They may or may not opt to do that, but if there's a backup offer for more money in place, they will opt to do that. And if the deposit is late because your client is late getting it to you, have you made your client aware? This is your responsibility. Have you made your client aware of the ramifications of a late deposit? Do they know that if they're late getting you the deposit, that the seller can void the contract? If they don't know that, and then suddenly their dream home slips through their fingers because you didn't inform them of that, they'll be making a complaint to council, and again, you will get in trouble and could get suspended. So make sure you're informing your manager. That is your responsibility as well. That deposit check may or may not be late. We can usually handle the situation, but we need to know about it. The other thing is we also have to contact your buyer and let them know that the deposit is late. Now, if they're the ones that are late getting it to you, they'll obviously know that and it'll be their fault. But again, did you explain to them the ramifications? More importantly though, if we call your buyer to tell them that the deposit check is late when they gave it to you 4 days ago, they're not going to be very impressed with you. And again, you're jeopardizing the purchase of their dream home potentially. So be very, very careful with deposits. Get them to your office right away. Don't use any excuse that you don't have time, that you're late, you don't live near the office. No one will accept that, and no one should accept that. Hope this answers your questions. Please feel free to get your questions into me.